Hey guys, welcome to another Lunchtime review. Today I'm trying 3 Mr. P's Crispy Crust Pizza. This one is the cheese, the pepperoni, and the cheeseburger. We bought these at Save-A-Lot for 79 cents. I don't know if Mr. P's is a Save-A-Lot brand or not. It doesn't really say in here anywhere. Distributed by Frozen Specialty. So it doesn't say it's by Save-A-Lot, so it's probably not. So we bought each one of these, like I said, 79 cents. It's pretty cheap, but they're really thin pizza. So let me tell you the calories for each one. So the cheese one, the whole pizza is 350 calories, which is not too bad. The pepperoni is 400 calories, not too bad. There's all the other stuff for it. And then the, should have flipped over. And then the cheeseburger one is 370 calories. So the pepperoni was more than even the cheeseburger one. And all the cooking directions are the same. So they have conventional oven directions, which is probably the best way to do it, but you know, we're not gonna do that. But conventional oven, they have toaster oven, which is probably the second best method. And then we're gonna do it in the microwave, which is probably the worst method to make a pizza, but we're gonna do it that way because we don't do ovens. So we're gonna remove the pizza from the carton and the wrapper, place the pizza on a microwave safe plate. I've got paper plates. And then you're going to microwave pizza on high for 2 minutes. If the cheese blend is not fully melted after 2 minutes, cook for an additional time of 10-second increments until the cheese is fully melted. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to set it up for 2 minutes each. And then if it's not melted, then I'll put it in longer. So let's see what the cheese looks like. Kind of got to grab an end and pull it open. Okay, they're kind of small. They don't have a lot of sauce on them either, but you know, they are what they are. They are only 79 cents. These pizza wraps are so much of a pain in the butt to get open. Okay, there's one. There's the cheese. Put that to the side. Let's see, this is the pepperoni. You do see some pepperoni on there, so that's cool. The old school square pepperonis. There you go. And then we got the cheeseburger one. Wow, it's got a different kind of cheese on it, and it has the beef on it. It's funny how this yellow cheese will change the whole look of something. So I'm going to get these in the microwave for 2 minutes each, and I'll be back when they come out. Okay, I'll show you what they look like out of the microwave. So here's the cheese, and the only thing I did was I took my pizza cutter and I kind of went around the edges just so it wouldn't stick. And I'm just going to cut this. I'll probably just cut it in half just like that. I think I can deal with that. And then here is, let me get that out of the way, here's the pepperoni one. And again, just went around the edges so it wouldn't be stuck to the plate. Let's cut that one in half. Probably cutting through my paper plate too, but that's okay. And then here is the cheeseburger one. And I noticed the cheeseburger one, the cheese on this one ran a little bit more than the other ones. That yellow cheddar, I guess it's cheddar cheese, I don't know. But again, went around the edges. It really bubbled up around the edges. You can tell the difference too. The most of the cheese in the middle where it melted last is okay, but around the edges it really, it almost disappeared. I think that's good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take these over the table and give them a try. All right, so I'm gonna try the cheese one first, and you know, don't look too bad. It's very thin pizza. It's not very crispy. It's kind of very pliable. But if you've done it in the oven, it would definitely be better. It's not bad for what it is. A little doughy where it's microwaved. The crust is, like I said, really soft. It's not crispy at all. So it's a little doughy. The flavor of that sauce reminds me of what you would get, well, when I was a kid, we had the triangular school pizzas. That's what that sauce kind of reminds me of. It's kind of it's a pizza sauce, but it's not super like spicy or flavorful seasoned sauce. It's kind of like just your basic pizza sauce that you get out of a jar or can. I think they play it safe for kids and pizza. So that's what that reminds me of. It reminds me a lot of a school pizza sauce. And honestly, the crust reminds me a little bit of a school pizza. It's a little thinner, a little more doughy because theirs are baked. But like I said, I think if you bake that in the oven, it would be much better as far as texture goes. Flavor-wise, yeah, it's not too bad. Let's try the pepperoni one. Basically the same texture, although this one, the edges dried out a little bit more, so it's a little more of a chew to it, or a little more a crunchy really, but just drier. I like the pepperoni flavor. Pepperoni actually has a good flavor to that. And where the pepperonis have kind of been on top, where some of the grease has gotten into the rest of the pizza, you kind of get that pepperoni flavor everywhere, not just when the bites you get the pepperoni in. Not bad. The texture is basically the same. Like I said, the outside crust got a little bit drier with the pepperoni for whatever reason. Nothing magic there. Could happen the reverse. It wouldn't matter. So it's a little bit more of a chew, but as far as flavor goes, you do get the pepperoni flavor. Just know that it's not like it's kind of like the sauce. It's not a super like seasoned, spicy, full of flavor. It's not one of those burst of flavor kind of pepperonis. It's just kind of a bland pepperoni, but you can't tell the difference between that and the cheese. For 79 cents, you're buying these, you want a cheap lunch, or your kids are out of school and you just want to give them something to eat during the afternoon. Yeah, I think these are pretty decent. This one's the cheeseburger one. That ground beef and the different cheese has a completely different flavor. It does kind of remind you of a cheeseburger. It's a little oilier, greasier than the other ones, but it's funny how just changing the meat and the cheese can shift the flavor so much. The texture is pretty much the same. Kind of has the same kind of doughy, chewy texture of the crust. My favorite one out of the bunch is actually the cheeseburger one. I like the flavor that the meaty ground beef flavor really comes through, and the cheese is stronger as well. The other two were fine if you don't like a hamburger kind of flavor, but the flavors are just lighter. So overall, these are what they are. They're 79-cent pizzas that you can get really cheap at Save-A-Lot. They're not as good as some of the more expensive brands of microwave pizzas, but they're definitely not as bad as some of the other ones I've had. And the cooking time was right on for me. The 2 minutes was perfect. Just don't ever assume the time on these microwave pizzas. Watch them, and when the middle starts getting kind of melty, if it starts bubbling up in the middle, it's done. Just stop. It's probably went too far, because then the outside's just like burnt. So you just got to really kind of watch it. Don't trust the times 100%. But 2 minutes for these seem to be perfect. I'm going to give them, I'm going to give them a 3 out of 5. They're not bad. They're not awesome. They're worse than the more expensive ones, but they're not as bad as some of the other ones I've had that are a little bit more expensive than this. So, yeah, I think it's a good solid 3. Definitely worth eating if you're wanting to, like I said, spend 79 cents and get a couple little pizzas. Then I think it's definitely worth the price. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.